Not that it makes a big difference, but we always like the record to be accurate. Next, we'll look for approval of the minutes from December 1st and January 2nd.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Jepson, a second from Commissioner Gamache. Are there any additions or corrections to either sets of minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Hearing none, both sets of minutes are adopted as presented. I have no chair's remarks for you, so we'll move on to item 5, where we'll consider for informational purposes that the chair has revised the Anoka County Regional Rail Authority Management Committee to include the chair, vice chair, and treasurer. And that would be myself, Commissioner Meisner, and Commissioner Reinert. And we'll move on to item 6, where we'll consider Resolution 2024-3, Anoka County Regional Railroad Authority Proposed Budget and Proposed Tax Levy for Program Year 2025. That is before you on item 6, where you'll see the draft resolution and the actual spreadsheet below that. And I will turn it over to Dee to explain anything, and you can ask your questions of her.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dee Goodman, Executive Director of Anoka County Regional Rail. Today I bring before you the 2025 proposed levy. As you can see from the beginning of the meeting, we have not met since the beginning of the year, and that's because as of right now, there's not a lot happening in the regional rail area. With us stepping out of CTIB, with us no longer having to pay for North Star, our job has gotten a little bit simpler with where we have our use of money. So what I bring you before you is almost a mimic of exactly what we did last year, which was basically the expenses that you're paying for are bits of personnel, salary, office use, some costs, and then the other big item would be the levy amount. So last year we were at our levy use of reserves. Our levy, I think, was about almost 1.8. And this year, last year was 2.1. This year we're going down to 1.8. And what we're doing is we're pulling from reserves in order to pay for that or to pay for any of the additional funds. So this year, as you can see, our net change in the levy, we're at 0. So not a lot has changed in there. And our balance in regional rail as of right now is $4.9 million.
Very good. Any questions of Dee on the budget? Commissioner Reinert.
So you're pulling from reserves to take care of this, and we've got $4 million left, you said. And what can that be used for other than this purpose?
It can be used for safety improvement projects. Some of the up and overs that we've been doing, we have a few left to be used for that, but that's really about it, is safety improvement projects.
Related to rail only.
Right. So that would be anything up over, like we did at Foley, that we've done at some of the other areas.
And the only correction is 4.9, not
Yes.
4. So almost 5 million.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I was going to say, so that 4.9 actually won't really go very far when you're talking about
No.
grade separation projects. And then you said there's a couple already identified?
We have some that are identified, but we have not moved forward with any of those right now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I believe if we were to do any grade separations, this would be seed money
Yes.
to entice other people. It would be partnership dollars.
And they usually are a joint partnership with the city that they're in.
I'm sorry, and then I do have one then follow-up question with the 4.9. So any kind of, what am I trying to say? Difference with what happened with the North Star, we're good. The understanding is like we're not going to be paying or held accountable for any kind of debate about money owed.
I can't say what Met Transit is going to do. We have not heard much from them. They did ask for a meeting this summer. It did not occur just due to scheduling. But the board 2 years ago decided that we were at our final payment and voted on that as a board.
Yep.
And so as we see it, we're done with our payments. We're where we need to be. We paid up where we should have, and we're kind of done. But I don't know. They do have a new director. He might have some different thoughts, but I
Yeah,
have not.
and I don't know, Mr. Attorney, if you can answer, I don't know if there's like a time frame where, for example, if they did have a argument about it, like within this time frame, they'd have to ask about it?
I don't
or
think there
if-
is a time frame on
Okay.
it, but, we set precedents back during COVID, and I believe we have that kind of behind us of the precedents we set. We did this years ago. We've stayed our course. I think that all goes in our favor of what we've been doing and how we see our amount due. But they could always come back, I guess. But that money would be used out of the sales tax out of transportation, so that does not affect this balance here.
Okay, thank you for that
And
clarification.
Commissioner Meisner, I did have an offline conversation with Ryan O'Connor, who is the director over there now, and made it pretty clear to him that the board has already voted and that we're not interested in the conversation, and he understood that, he knows that. And that was after they had called for a meeting, and so I don't know that we'll hear anything else, and if we do, we'll entertain a meeting.
Yes.
We'll chat with them, but we have had a vote as the board that we're done with that conversation.
The balance that we currently have really has come from us selling land that we have owned, that we've kind of gotten rid of because we no longer need to carry that land. There's no additional extensions or things like that. So that's really where that balance comes from. So it will steadily go down, but it will be there for seed money, for anything that does come up. The law changes a lot. We might be able to use it for something else, but as of right now, it's kind of stationary, and it's kind of a nice balance to have sitting in there in case something does occur.
Thank you.
Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, I just don't think they're gonna do anything because I think they know that if they went backwards and tried to renegotiate that, they'd be in for a fight, and they don't want that.
Exactly, and we have a pretty solid ground. You as a board said no, that was like 3 years ago. Precedent, in my mind, precedence has been set, and Ryan has had several discussions with me and Commissioner Schulte.
Excellent.
We've stood our ground.
I would entertain a motion on the proposed budget and proposed tax levy for 2025, Resolution 2024-3.
I'll move it.
The resolution's been offered. Is there any further discussion? This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Rosted,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
That item passes. That concludes our business today. We are adjourned.
Thank you.